Third time's a charm. Let's try this again. So when when I was with Adrian, who was hired to cause me as many disturbances as possible in my life, to make me stay asleep, to keep me in drama and turmoil so much that I wouldn't wake up to what was really happening around me. But when I finally decided that I was going to break up with him, we were in the car. He jumped in the car and he was riding with me because I told him I was moving. I was going to get boxes. He jumped in the car with me. And when we were in the car, he started to physically hurt me. He put his elbow in my breastbone and applied pressure. I felt like it was going to get really ugly, but I never imagined it was going to get as ugly as it got. We pulled behind a convenience store, and I got out to look for boxes, and I didn't see anything. And as I was pulling out, I was going to make a right where we would go back on Main Street, but he took the steering wheel and he turned us left, and we went down a dark road. And we got to this parking lot, and he did the same thing, pulled us into this parking lot. Well, I jumped out of the car and I started to run. I was going to run to the house across the street and ask him to call 911. When I looked back, he was headed the opposite direction, and I thought, well, crap, I can make it to the car and get out of there. Just leave him there. So I ran back to the car and I did the Dukes of Hazzard jump in, feet first, but I didn't make it all the way in the car, and he caught me. He came up behind me, put his arms around my arms, my chest, and started pulling me. My foot got caught on the steering wheel, so I was not going out. I was not coming out of the car easily. So I smashed him in the face with the back of my head. And he kind of a little bit, and he kept pulling and kept pulling. So I did it again with the back of my head into his head, into his face. That time he pulled harder and he got me out of the car. He got on top of me with my arms pinned to my sides, and he lifted up my upper body and slammed my head into the ground, and I was out. And apparently there was about a 30-minute window between that and the time that I was taken to the hospital. I remember waking up in the car and screaming, "What?" And I remember him grabbing some part on my neck, and then me going back out again. And they had to shock me back to life in the emergency room, like 7 times, I believe. The whites of my eyes were blood red for like 6 months or more. They thought I was going to be brain damaged. They told me I might be blind. They told me that I was never going to be the same. They did tell me I was going to have memory problems, and that seemed to have been the biggest thing that happened, but my memory is returning. So it didn't really create that many problems for me. He did try to shove my nose into my brain. He broke all 4 orbital bones. And he mangled my upper lip, and they had to do reconstructive surgery on my face. And that was a time. The time stood still. And then in this time, I wasn't allowed to see my children. My ex-husband wouldn't allow me to see my children. My ex-husband was the one who paid Adrian to do this to me because he didn't want to pay child support. Which, by the way, he was very involved in my family and what they were all doing to me. He was also involved. So is my friend Guy Greenhill, who were both my ex-husband and my friend Guy were my best friends in high school. I don't think I ever had any friends I don't think I ever had any friends. All right. The next question. Did you ever try to kill yourself? Yes. 3 times when I was a teenager. I tried exhaust, but I couldn't handle the headache. I was going to drive off a cliff and stopped inches from driving off the cliff. And the last time I tried was a friend of mine had given me some speeds called 357s, and I crushed up about 7 of those, and I snorted them, and it didn't do anything to me. There was one more time. Last year, or the year before, it might have been 2 years ago now. After Manisha died, and in November, and then my dog died in January. I was living in a hotel room, and I had no idea where I was going to go or what I was going to do or how I was going to be. I put a gun in my mouth, and I stood in front of the mirror, and I looked at myself with this gun in my mouth. And I asked myself, is this really what you want to do? Because if you do this, they win. And I believe I mentioned this in my last video, that I took the gun out of my mouth and I bawled for 3 days. I did. And there have been times when I've thought about it, and this situation has been so terrible. And like I said, I felt boxed in, like, where is it going to go? Who's going to help me? Nobody listens to me. Nobody believes me. Why not just end it and forget about it, and everybody can move on with their life? But that's not how this works. Because these people don't forget about anything. And they move on to the next person. And they do the same thing to them. And it's all for money. It's all for money. And I wasn't about to let them do this to my family. This has happened to my family. This happened to my grandmother. Not exactly everything like I'm saying, but like what happened to me, but very similar. And I would assume it happened to somebody before her. It needed to stop. And I am the stopping point. I am one of the strongest people I've ever known. Thanks to my so-called mother, who actually prepared me for what happened in Tennessee. She did. The next question that I had come to me was, were you ever raped? Yes, many times. There was a man I mentioned in one of my videos who was an energy harvester. His name was Hank True. He raped me when I was very, very young. He took us camping. He wanted us to zip all of our sleeping bags together, and I knew exactly what that meant because that wasn't the first time that this man had done things to me. But it was really cold, and it was the sleeping bags wouldn't zip together the way that he wanted them to, so we ended up in the van. My brother was in the back seat. Him, me, and his son were in the very back part, flat on the floor. Hank was next to me. His son was next to him, and I woke up with his fingers in an area that they shouldn't have been in. he had given us hot chocolate, and he drugged us. He drugged all of us kids. It wasn't just me. He drugged my brother. He drugged my friend Kim. He drugged her brothers. He drugged us all. But that night, the hot chocolate was really gross. I mean, he must have put up at it. Drink your hot chocolate. Drink your hot chocolate. I dumped mine out when he wasn't looking. And that's why I woke up. He knew I was awake. I rolled over and tried to pretend like I was still asleep, but he knew I was awake. And he whispered in my ear, "If you ever tell anybody about this, I will kill your whole family." Did anyone in my family ever rape me? Was the next question. Yes, is the answer. I must have been about 6 or 7 years old. And my mother was in the living room. And I wasn't asleep yet. And I heard a lot of voices in the living room. So I got up and I peeked around the corner and I saw my mom, my Uncle Farrell, and my dad's friend, Mike. I went back and I laid down on my bed. And just a short while later, my mother came in and took my brother off of the top bunk and took him out of the room. And then my Uncle Farrell and my brother, or my dad's friend, Mike, came in the room where both men proceeded to rape me. The next question I got was, how did your mom treat you the next day? Well, apparently me being raped by my uncle and my dad's friend was so that she could obtain money for drugs or drugs themselves. It was either the money for or the drugs themselves. I'm not sure which. But the next day, my mom and my dad locked me and my brother outside of the house so they could do the drugs. The only time they would let us in was to pee or use the bathroom. And I had already asked once if I could go in and go to the bathroom. Of course, we were out there the entire day. Well, at one point, my brother went in to use the bathroom and he never came back out. So I'm outside by myself. And when I knocked on the door to see if I could come in and use the bathroom, she told me I already had, that I could hold it. Now, keeping in mind, just the day before, I was raped by 2 grown men. So I'm standing on the porch, literally doing the pee-pee dance, trying to hold it. And I couldn't. I wet my pants. And that's when Mother came out and spanked me for wetting my pants. That's how she treated me the next day after I was raped. Then the next question I got was, they would ask me about my brother Dale. The fact is, my brother was always jealous of me. He was raised to be jealous of me. Why are there more pictures of Linda? Why does Linda always get her way? There was a day that Dale had a couple of friends come over. Mom and Dad were gone. Mom was at work. Dad was, I don't know where he was. But my brother had a couple of friends that came over to the house. And they were in the backyard doing their thing, and I was in my room. When suddenly these 2 boys came in my room. And my brother told them, they attacked me. And my brother told them they could do whatever they wanted to me. And I'm fighting these boys off. Fighting them off with everything that I had. When my brother made them say to tell me my brother told these boys to tell me that I was nothing more than a whore to him. The next question I got was, how did Dale treat animals? My brother actually ran over my dog, Peanut. But for years, he had me believing that I was the one that ran over my dog, Peanut. And then the memories started coming back. I didn't run him over. Dale did. And when he ran him over, he wasn't dead. He got up and he ran. And I was trying to catch him. He ran into the garage. I was trying to catch him, but I couldn't catch him because he was obviously hurt and he was scared. My brother took this dog and took him away. And later told me that he just threw him in a dumpster somewhere. The dog was still alive. I was heartbroken. He was very cruel to animals. Very, very cruel to animals. I had a dog named Truck. She was my first dog. I had her for 17 years, and he used to beat her. When I came home from having surgery, before I came home from having surgery, my brother beat the ever-loving crap out of my dog so that my dog was not able to move, so that she couldn't comfort me after having surgery. She could barely walk up the stairs. And whenever my brother would walk by her, he would flinch at her and she would cower and she wouldn't move. He was cruel. My whole family were cruel, evil people. And that, my friends, is the line of questioning that I received through my psychic abilities, through my gifts. I don't know who is planning to ask me these questions or if they're still planning to ask me these questions, but these are the questions that were given to me, and those are my answers. So whoever's going to ask me, I hope you're watching this so that you can get the answers here. And of course, I'll tell you again myself. That's really what I wanted to talk about tonight, was that line of questioning that I received, and the fact that I believe with all of my heart and soul that my Heavenly Father is who gives me my gifts. It's where they come from. It's a divine thing. I was born this way. It doesn't make me weird. It doesn't make me strange. It doesn't make me crazy. It doesn't make me anything but gifted. It makes me gifted. And the only reason that these people try to say that it's anything other than a gift is because they're in the line of fire of the truth coming out about them and what they've done. Honey, don't feel terrible for me, because my Lord, my God, has always protected me. And every single thing that has happened to me has made me the strong woman that I am, and has given me the strength and the courage to speak out against these people and to put them away where they belong. You know, at one point in Tennessee, you know, I seriously felt like I was going to die. And I thought, you know, am I just going to lay down and die? Am I just going to lay down and die? Or am I going to fight back? Well, the good Lord gave me the platform. He sent me to the platform. Tarot. I started watching tarot, and amazingly, it was verbatim what was happening to me. I was able to stay 10 steps ahead of these people this entire time with my gifts and with the help of my soul family. I am one hell of a strong woman because of what I've been through in my life. They did not make me a victim. They made me a warrior. That's what they made me. And do I lay down and die, or do I fight? If you're going to plan on killing me anyway, I'm sure as hell not going down without a fight. So for 2 years or more, I've been fighting with my words, telling the truth. And I've been protected the entire time by Heavenly Father, by my brother Jesus, by my ancestors, the archangels, spirit team. My spirit team. I am healed from most of this. That's why I can talk to you without crying about it anymore. I spent many years working on this. I've spent many years crying. I've had people in my life that I've talked to about this stuff. Nobody cared because they were all in on it. Manisha cared. Manisha listened. Manisha helped me tremendously through a lot. The church that I go to now, they don't know the whole story unless they watch my videos, but they're helping me to be able to trust people again, because I know that there are good people out there. I know there are. Honey, I still feel pretty alone in this world. But I know I'm not. I know there are other people who are going through things like I'm going through. I know there are. And I'm not only fighting for myself, I'm fighting for them too. Because human trafficking is real. This is what happens to people when they're trafficked. This is what they do to people when they're trafficked. And that's exactly what I was. I was a trafficked human being. I was abducted as an infant, raised by a cult of evil-minded psychopaths, narcissistic psychopaths who gained financially off of what they did to me. But I'm not the only one that they've done this to. But I sure as hell hope that I'm going to be the last. Because I'm going to fight it. And I'm going to out them all. I've already said names. I've already told you there are celebrities involved. Ooh, no. There's government officials involved. The Epstein, those are the people involved. Have been outed, supposedly, that were involved with him. Some of them, not all of them, very few of them, and maybe even only one of them, is being lied about to make them look bad, to make them look incapable. However, truth prevails. And you eventually start outing yourself with your lie, because you can't keep up with who you said, what you said to who and when, but the truth remains the truth and consistency through the entire thing. which is what's been inconsistency through the entire thing, which is what's been my saving grace. Terrible things about me are now being caught in their own lies. Because a liar can't remember what lie they told and who they told it to. And as I get my downloads, I'm going to share them with you. Whatever they may be. Like this morning with the Santa ready for work, and all of a sudden I hear oceanfront property in Arizona. And then San Andreas Fault, seismic activity. That's how they come to me. They just come. I don't live in Tennessee anymore, honey. I'm not in Tennessee anymore. I'm out of there. Out of that place. Tennessee is the hub of human trafficking, by the way. In case anybody needs to know that. People think it's California. It's Tennessee. All those back, hicks, sticks, covens that play in the woods with the voodoo and the hoodoo and the Zulu and the whatever it is that they think they're playing with. But it all backfires because the devil is. So I don't know if you have watched my very first video. I believe it's called The Unreal is Real. That is, in a nutshell, what's been happening. Did you like it there? Did you like it in Tennessee? Because I didn't like it there. I did not like Tennessee. Watch my video, The Unreal is Real, because that is in a nutshell exactly what's happening. And then everything from that point on has been me uncovering and discovering, investigating what's been happening in my life and how and who and why they're involved. And this is all about money. It's all about an inheritance. That's what this is about. Sickening, isn't it? It's sickening. I'd rather keep my soul, personally. And live an eternal life where I'm afraid some of these people won't even have an opportunity to exist anymore. All right, well, it's getting late here, and I just worked a 12-hour shift, but I had a lot of energy when I came home, and I thought I'd give this a go. Thank you for hanging in there with me, for watching. Well, that's good. I'm glad you had somebody to help you through that. I'm glad. All right, my friends. I'll see you later. Maybe tomorrow. I've got the next 4 days off. Tomorrow is my birthday. So I took my birthday off, and then I already had the next 3 days off. So I have a mini vacay coming up. Yeah, that's right. All right, y'all. Love each other. Love yourselves. You know I love you, and I'll catch you later. You sleep well, too. Thank you.